Welcome to the Curious Room.
It is so good to be here.
I am really glad you're here with us today, too. And to you listening right now, welcome in.
Yeah, welcome.
I was actually just looking at my phone this morning, looking at my calendar, my endless to-do list, the news, and I had this really distinct feeling that my brain was like a web browser with about 50 tabs open,
Oh, yeah.
and at least 3 of them were completely frozen.
Only 3. You're actually having a pretty good day.
Right. I mean, it feels like the default state of modern life for you, for me, for everyone is just this mild panic.
It is. We are constantly running and reacting, optimizing everything.
Exactly. So when we were planning the topic for today's deep dive, I actually physically exhaled. Just thinking about the title made me feel a little bit better.
It is a really soothing concept.
It is. Today we're talking about the quiet comfort of daily rhythms.
It sounds lovely, doesn't it?
It really does.
But I do want to frame our mission here before we get too cozy.
Yeah.
This deep dive isn't just about, relaxing or taking a bubble bath.
Yeah.
We really want to explore the real-life feelings behind our habits. We're going to dive into why simple, repetitive actions provide such a profound sense of reassurance. And we're going to do it without using heavy academic words or complex theories.
Which I appreciate so much because I think whenever people talk about habits, it immediately feels like a lecture.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we want to avoid. We're keeping this conversation calm, thoughtful, and polite.
Yeah.
We want this deep dive to mirror the very comfort we are talking about.
Let's set the stage then, because we really need to look at our habits not as chores, not like, oh, I have to do the laundry, I have to walk the dog.
Like a punishment almost.
Yeah, exactly, like a punishment. But instead, seeing them as the background music of our lives.
Yeah, it is the perfect way to look at it. There is a huge distinction between a routine and a rhythm.
Walk me through that, because I use those words interchangeably.
Most people do. But think about a harsh routine. A routine often feels very rigid. It's imposed. It's a checklist where you say, do this, then do that, or you fail.
It feels like a cage.
Yes. But a rhythm is natural. It's fluid.
Like music.
Exactly like music. It carries you. You don't have to force a rhythm. You just sort of step into it and let it set the pace of your day.
Why does that distinction matter so much, though? Because honestly, sometimes I feel like my brain wants the rigid checklist. Even if it makes me miserable, I feel like I should be doing more.
Well, let's talk about why your brain actually loves a simple rhythm. Think about how much mental energy you use every single day just making choices.
Oh, decision fatigue. I have that by like 10 in the morning.
We all do. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first. It burns through your energy.
It really does.
So when a behavior becomes a natural rhythm, it stops requiring that heavy, conscious decision-making.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't have to be on high alert trying to figure out what comes next.
So a rhythm is basically an energy-saving mode for the brain.
That's a great layman's term for it, yes. It creates this very calm environment where the mind just doesn't have to work so hard. And knowing what comes next provides this incredible reassurance.
Because predictability feels safe.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The world outside is loud and chaotic. You can't control the traffic or the economy.
Yeah.
But you can entirely control the specific sequence of how you make your morning coffee.
That makes so much sense. It's why when I have a really stressful week at work, I find myself weirdly obsessed with wiping down the kitchen counters.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not actually that passionate about cleaning. I just really need to control something in my environment.
That is exactly it. That little repetitive action tells your nervous system, hey, we are okay. We know exactly how this specific task goes. It's simple.
It's so simple, and I think that simplicity is key. The most comforting parts of our day don't require any intense effort.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the structure of the day itself. If you think of your day as a narrative, like a story.
Okay, a story. Though my Tuesdays usually feel less like a best-selling novel and more like just a bunch of endless video calls.
Sure. But even a day full of calls needs a steady pace. A story has clear, logical sections. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
A good rhythm provides that logical sectioning for your day. It allows one part of your day to smoothly connect to the next.
Okay, so how do we do that? Because I think a lot of us just kind of crash from one event to the next.
We do. And that's why we need to intentionally create breathing space.
Breathing space. I love the sound of that.
Think of it like natural pauses. In music, the notes are obviously important, but the music actually happens in the spaces between the notes.
If you just played all the notes at once without any space, it would just be noise.
It would be a complete cacophony. And our modern lives are often a cacophony because we pack all the notes too close together, We wake up, immediately check the phone, rush to work, rush home. There's no pause.
So a rhythm actually introduces those natural pauses.
Yes, the transitions.
That makes me think about the commute, the drive home. I usually sit in traffic and just get so frustrated because it feels like wasted time.
But what if you looked at that drive as your breathing space?
Just a bridge between the work chapter and the home chapter.
Exactly. It's the white space on the page. If you reframe it like that, it stops being a frustrating delay and starts being a reassuring pause.
That is a huge shift in perspective, but it's hard to do, right? Because we are so conditioned to judge ourselves. Like, if I didn't optimize my commute by listening to an educational audiobook, I failed.
That is where gentle curiosity comes in.
Yeah.
We have to approach our own habits with gentle curiosity rather than judgment.
What does gentle curiosity look like in real life?
It looks like observing what you're doing without keeping a scorecard. Instead of saying, I have to drink this glass of water right now because it's good for my health goals.
Which feels like a chore.
Right. Instead of that, you just notice, how does this cold water feel right now? You approach the moment gently.
It's so nice to just be without needing to reach some strong conclusion or hit a metric,
It shifts you out of that intense doing mode.
which is really hard for us. We want to be doing things constantly, but you can't sustain that.
No, you burn out, which is why these daily rhythms are so crucial. They actually make us feel more human.
I want to dig into that, making us feel human. What are some small examples of this? Because we really want to keep this grounded in everyday words.
Small examples are the best way to understand this. Think about the specific way you might start your morning. Maybe it's the feeling of your favorite ceramic mug in your hands,
Yes, the weight of it.
the weight, the warmth. Or think about a quiet moment in the afternoon when you just look out the window for 60 seconds.
Or changing clothes. I used to think it was silly to change out of my work clothes if I was just going to sit on the couch and do more work on my laptop. But the second I put on sweatpants, I can physically feel my shoulders drop.
That is a perfect example. That is a physical anchor. You have conditioned your body to know that changing into comfortable clothes means safety.
It's like a signal that the hunt is over.
Yes, these small, very relatable moments act as anchors throughout our day. They ground us.
I want you listening right now to just take a second and visualize your own small examples. What is that one little thing you do every day that just feels like yours? Maybe it's the sound of your key turning in the front door.
Or the smell of the soap you use when you wash your face at night.
Right. It's so immersive. When you really pay attention to those small sensory details, it brings you right into the present moment.
And it connects you to that bigger picture of quiet comfort.
Because it's a slow pace, I really appreciate the slow pace of a rhythmic day. There is such a joy in just not rushing.
It feels like a good conversation that just flows naturally.
Which goes back to what we said at the start. A good day shouldn't feel like a motivational speech you have to endure.
Or a lecture you have to sit through and take notes on.
Exactly. It should just be something you enjoy living through.
If you rush through the chapters of your day, you miss the details. You miss the nuances of your own life.
I think about how many days I've lived where I get to bed at night, and I honestly cannot remember a single distinct thing that happened.
It was just a blur of motion.
It's a total blur. But when you anchor yourself with these little rhythms, when you really taste the coffee, when you really notice the drive, you slow down your perception of time.
You do. You are actually inhabiting your life instead of just managing it.
Managing it, wow, that is exactly what it feels like most of the time. Just managing the logistics of being alive.
And that is why the routine, the checklist, feels so draining. But the rhythm is restorative.
It's logical. If the beginning of the day is the introduction, what is the end of the day?
It's the resolution, the closing chapter.
A lot of us skip that part entirely. We just work until we're exhausted, and then we crash.
Yes, and without a closing rhythm, something that signals to your brain that the work is definitively done, your brain never actually logs off.
You carry all the stress of the middle of the story right into your sleep.
Exactly. You need an anchor to close the day.
Like what? What's a good closing anchor?
It could be as simple as wiping down that kitchen table we talked about earlier.
Putting the kitchen to bed.
Putting the kitchen to bed. When the table is clean, the kitchen is closed, and more importantly, the working mind is closed.
I love the idea of a close sign for my brain.
And remember, approach it with that gentle curiosity. If you forget to wipe the table one night, you don't grade yourself with an F.
Right, no judgment. You just notice it. Like, oh, I feel a little more frantic tonight because I didn't do my closing anchor.
Exactly, you just notice the feeling.
This all feels so doable. It's reassuring to realize that the most comforting things in our day are also the most accessible.
They're completely free. You don't need a special app. You don't need a life coach. You just need to pay attention to the rhythms that are already there, waiting for you to notice them.
You're already drinking the water, you're already walking to the car. You just need to actually be there while you do it.
Yes. The quiet comfort comes from the predictability and the inherent humanity of these daily rhythms.
As we start to synthesize all of this and wrap up our deep dive today, I'm struck by a really soft, reflective thought here.
What's that?
Maybe the comfort we get from all this doesn't come from the productivity of the routine at all. Maybe it simply comes from the breathing space it creates for us to just be ourselves.
I think that is the absolute core of it. We are so pressured to be larger than life, to disrupt things, to constantly achieve.
Right.
But there is a very profound dignity in just maintaining your own life beautifully. There's dignity in a well-made bed or a quiet moment looking out the window.
It reminds us that we are human beings. We need safety, we need patterns, and we really need rest.
We absolutely do.
And it leads me to one final thought to sort of chew on, something we haven't touched on yet, but that feels connected.
I'd love to hear it.
What if the ultimate comfort of building these daily rhythms isn't just about getting through a normal Tuesday? What if it's about creating a foundation that is so solid and so familiar that when life inevitably throws you a massive curveball, you can handle it?
Oh, that is a great point.
Like a jazz musician.
Yeah.
You know, you have to practice your scales every single day. That's your rhythm, your anchor. And because you know the scales so perfectly, you have the freedom to improvise when the music suddenly changes.
The rhythm provides the safety net that allows for true spontaneity.
Exactly. The structure actually creates the freedom.
That is a beautiful way to look at it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today and talking through all of this. It has been a truly comforting conversation.
It really has been a pleasure. Thank you.
And to you listening right now, thank you for stepping into the Curious Room with us today. I hope that as you go through the rest of your day, you can find just one small anchor.
Even just one breathing space.
Yeah. Maybe it's the next time you hold a cup of coffee or the moment you turn the key in your door. Whatever it is, I hope it brings you a sense of peace. Wishing you a peaceful continuation of your own daily rhythm. We will see you next time. Goodbye for now.